Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review The Color Purple, a bold new take on the beloved classic.
You're just saying the tagline they want you to say.
I actually wouldn't really call the movie all that bold, would I? I think it's because they kiss, and they want to say that that's bold.
Oh, I think it's like because it's a musical.
But it's already been a musical.
Yeah, that's why I don't really feel it resonates.
I've seen the 1985 version, haven't read the book, haven't seen the musical, but where I think that this movie definitely succeeds is somewhere where the original adaptation succeeded as well. The movie is just an ode to these black women who were able to inspire and uplift each other, and the movie resonates on that front. And I think the main reason it does is, because the story in general is very good. I really felt like the main character was trapped without the help of these women around her. But really, it's the performances, I think, that brought that home for me. Fantasia Barrino portrays Celie's arc beautifully. There's so much physicality there, not talking even about the dancing, how locked up this person feels, and that transformation of this character into a more open person and somebody who accepts herself more.
And because her character is so restrained, more so than the other women, when she does a little bit, it goes a long way. And she does something really interesting with how this character smiles, and when she smiles, how she reacts to her own smile. That showed you so much about who she is and just what the story is at its very core. It felt like she really understood that she was in a film and not on the stage, because this felt very much like a film acted performance. Whereas the other characters sometimes felt a little more designed for the stage, this worked extremely well on film. I can't believe this is her debut for the screen. I mean, it is really just an extraordinary performance. And the other performance I think is great is Danielle Brooks. She wasn't in the movie quite as much as I thought, and I'm coming into this completely naive because I have not seen any version of The Color Purple, but she is absolutely magnetic. Between her and Fantasia, they capture the essence of the film. You almost don't need any more storytelling, any more exposition, because just those two characters and what they represent and how they interact with each other, learn and grow, and what Fantasia Barrino takes away from her, that's all you need to make this movie work, really. And Danielle Brooks definitely has the most fun song in the movie. What's it called? Fuck You or Go to Hell or something? Hell No. That's actually the only song that I remember in the movie, but that was extremely fun. And yes, what I just said is a little bit of a dig at the film. I think the songs in this movie are not that good, and there's a couple reasons for that. One is, I didn't find any except for Hell No memorable. Not in terms of story or composition. There's no melody that was playing in my head at any point. But especially lyrically, if I can say anything confidently, I would say the lyrics just felt like they were the characters stating in the most plain way exactly what they're going through. And it almost took the intrigue out of the movie, because they're just saying it for you so obviously. And without rhyme sometimes, without even a rhythm to the way that they're speaking. How are you allowed to write songs this basic, and how does that translate into a Broadway play? I don't understand. And the lack of hooks. I was kind of where are the hooks, And even it just felt like, I'm growing so much. I can't wait to see my sister. I hope she's doing okay. It's just an interior monologue, but no poetry whatsoever. Not many interesting rhymes or wordplay or no,
or even lyrical emphasis,
or just a basic. I know fucking nothing about musicals, but I do know when I watch Frozen, I'm intrigued by the song Love Is an Open Door. They're playing with words and they're using metaphors, and it's very basic stuff that I feel musicals do well. Or even hell, Dear Evan Hansen, waving through the window, just creating an image in your mind that's memorable. And oh, that means more than just him looking through the window to describe his whole character. I don't remember anything in this movie, any line or hook or theme that felt like poetry in any sense. Even just trying, even in terms of just, are you trying to do something? And also, all the musical numbers came at a moment where it's the movie is kind of done establishing a point about a character, and then it just serves to reaffirm that point. Whereas I think powerful musical numbers often are part of the character, discovering something about themselves. Every musical number felt like it was just affirming the obvious. I will say that the additional song that they had in there, Keep It Movin', with Halle Bailey in the beginning, I actually thought that was a good addition, because I thought it made sense for her sister to have
a song. There were some musical moments that I liked, but I thought for the most part, most of the musical moments were a little forgettable.
Not only unforgettable, but, and this is totally subjective, but unorganic to me. I felt like I was into the drama, I was liking what I was seeing, and then it would go into musical and I would think, what is this adding to what I just saw? Again, like what you said, it's reaffirming what you just saw instead of building on it. And I was just sort of taken out of the movie when it would go into musical because I'd say, okay, here we go, we're not really developing story too much. I'll give you an example of where it did do that. When she kissed Taraji P. Henson, you know, that was an example where like the music and the singing like brought them together and then it ended in a very important part of the story. That's an example where I wish they did something like that more often.
I did like that visual choice for that song,
Yeah.
but in the beginning there were a lot of awkward places that the character
sets were a little
like,
awkward.
went to. And also I didn't feel the need for there to be like a whole town song in the beginning, because I was like, this movie is very much about a person, and I don't know if it, like, the establishment of the place in that song did much.
Well, there has to be a town song.
I know, it doesn't,
So
it
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
like-
It just
yeah.
has to, it didn't, like, do anything for me.
Sometimes the drama felt a little bit stagey or over the top, a little clunky, inorganic at times.
I think the drama being over the top makes sense for a musical.
Sure.
I would probably be a little more forgiving of it if I felt like the musical numbers overall were justified. I also think the movie kind of lacks a distinct style, especially for these musical numbers. My favorite musical numbers on film, the camera integrates with the choreography.
And it makes me feel like exciting and my heart's elevated. And
yeah, West Side Story did this so well.
Yeah.
La La Land did this well. I even think Les Mis did this well. This movie, it just, camera's pushing in, it's pulling out.
I definitely have a bone to pick about the cinematography here, and I'm saying that because this is Dan Laustsen. I mean, they got one of the best cinematographers working today to do this film, and I really don't think this is his best work. I think it's a nice looking movie.
No denying that there are many pretty images.
Yeah, many pretty images.
And good lighting.
I think the camera work was a little monotonous, like you were saying. And there were a few times when it relied on backlighting to make the images look beautiful, but sometimes when people were singing, I couldn't really see their faces, and it was this awkward disconnect where I couldn't see who was singing, and I wanted to, like, be with them. I think the backlighting there took away from me absorbing the performance, and often that was with Danielle Brooks, who I was like, she's magnetic, like I need to be in her face right now. And the backlight was like washing out her face. The last scene also had me kind of chuckling, but not in a good way, thinking that it was a little corny. It just felt too like everybody's together,
yeah,
and we're all clapping our hands.
It was like
almost felt like a cartoon version of how I make myself laugh by thinking about it.
It was like rejoicing in its own tidiness.
I'm happy for the people who went through something and now it's all nice, but it just doesn't create a lot of interest for me.
Yeah,
we're gonna clap our hands about how nice the story turned out to be.
Yeah, it's basically like the end of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And look, some people want that, and like this is a Christmas movie and stuff. It's just, you know, it's not so much my thing.
It's a movie that my mom is gonna disagree with me about the ending because she likes that kind of thing where everything gets resolved and everything feels happy and it feels like everybody's friends with each other.
Everybody's friends.
Yeah, everybody's like at the same table.
Like I said though, I think that the core of the story, like what's important to capture here, is there. And a lot of the drama I was pretty into, and you know, the acting was great. That's the reason I was into the movie.
Yeah.
So I think actually I liked the movie overall, but there were a lot of ways in which I think it could have been stronger, and as a musical adaptation of this story, I didn't think it quite justified that. I would give the movie a 6 out of 10.
I can't say I thought the movie was that good. I think the performances are excellent, and that's kind of all I have to say about it. For me, it's more of a 5 out of 10. I don't want to discourage people from seeing it. I think you should go watch it. I just feel like, all right, that's fine.
Movie's on the cusp for a Best Picture nomination. It crushed Christmas Day and then seemed to drop off, so we don't know whether or not the movie's like this sort of box office smash, Hidden Figures, American Sniper, last minute type of like, you know, arrival where it hasn't been doing the best before that.
It certainly has been underperforming. I mean, for it to miss the Golden Globe comedy musical for Air, oh my God, Critics' Choice, you know, it did very okay.
And Fantasia, like, if she gets nominated, that's great. Like, I think she deserves that.
Yeah.
Danielle Brooks, want to see her nominated as well.
Yeah, I'm rooting for both of them. Costumes, it will probably get at the Academy Awards. Production design seems like one that might drop if it's not quite in there for picture.
Yeah, even Critics' Choice didn't go for
Yeah.
that. And cinematography also, I'm not sold on that. It could get song because it showed up on 2 shortlists, but like didn't get that at Critics' Choice and Golden Globe, which I also thought was weird. It'll probably do very well at SAG. I think it'll get, you know, all those actors in there and ensemble.
With Taraji P. Henson, you think?
Well, I don't know about that. That's a maybe. And I think it'll probably get PGA because they're likely not going to go for Zone and Anatomy of a Fall or May December. So, you know, that's one of their options that I could see them going for. BAFTA's probably not going to give a shit. Does that get it in at the end of the day? Like, you know, it's on the cusp. Danielle Brooks winning, I did kind of think that there was going to be like one more big scene with her.
Yeah. I was thinking, oh, we got another Ariana DeBose coming in. And I went and like went gung-ho and I put money on the betting market for it because I was like, she's only going to go up from here, everybody. Like, this is it. This is the performance. And when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I guess maybe that's not going to win after all. It's not quite the Anita in West Side Story where the third act's all about her. She has a couple of scenes that I think are some of the best acting of the year, and I'd be happy if she won, or if Divine Joy Randolph won. If Color Purple isn't going to get into Best Picture, then I think it's Divine Joy Randolph's trophy. And then if it can squeeze in or overperform, then maybe we have a race.
Yeah, as long as she wins SAG, then yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
What color represents things that are nice when things are bad to you?